What's going on, guys? Your boy Kayson Rivers. I am here, the host of today's talk, Red Talk. Hopefully, you guys enjoy it. We're gonna get straight into it. I am with my guest here, Joel. We're gonna get into who he is, a little bit about himself. He's the AD and the head football coach. But Joel, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hey, thank you, man. Thank you for having us on another episode of Red Talk. Basically, I am the head football coach and athletic director here at the University of Atlantis. And what we're trying to do this year is to build such a culture and environment that people will be knocking down doors to try to get in here, man. We want to build such a family environment here and such an atmosphere that we cause somewhat of a wildfire. So with that being said, that's my primary goal every day, is to find a better way of giving us exposure and building a better band athletically.
And we are going to be next up by any means necessary. The culture is going to be great. We're going to make sure everybody is the best person. First is person, then is school, then it's sports. So that's our goal, and that's what we're reaching for. But we have some questions here for my guy here today, and we're going to get right into it. So what role do scholarships play in attracting top talent to our university's football program?
Well, scholarships are a major key in us acquiring and recruiting the best possible talent that we can get. We're not a big venue. We're not big on the market of schools and universities concerning football or athletics in general. But for the smaller market, we want to try to build a brand that is going to give us the same compatibility as the bigger schools. So scholarships play a major key in us receiving that type of talent, recruiting that talent, reaching out. With the uprising of the transfer portal, it gives us a voice now, because a lot of the incoming freshmen straight out of high school, they don't have those avenues that they used to have because of the transfer portal. So our voice is a little bit louder, and we get an opportunity to bring in, I want to say, a better grade of talent through recruitment, through our scholarships. So those scholarships mean they play a key role in everything that we do.
And whenever you guys get the opportunity, make sure y'all take full advantage of it. For sure. What strategies do you employ to support the academic success of student athletes who are on scholarship?
One of the things that we want to do, that we've tried to foster, is building a culture where they have accountability. One of the things, the resources that we offer are, most importantly, study hall. Study hall and tutoring is a major resource for our student athletes. The other is trying to give them opportunities to group up together, what we like to say corporate tutoring, where they will be able to get together, they can be able to set up in groups and almost like peer tutoring, coaching one another. And I think that helps with their networking, and I know that it helps us with building a family component into our program building. You know, you want to have that family component because we have a lot of guys from all over, everywhere, and sometimes being homesick comes into play. And what we want to do is we want to try to make sure that we build such a tight bond that it's a fluidity in family.
I got a question. How important is it to have a family culture?
Oh, it's after discipline. I believe it's the number one thing that you want to seek. You need to seek after building a cohesive unit. The main thing is trying to focus on guys that have like-minded values. They have like-minded perspectives, and you try to bring them together under the same banner of our standard is not wins and losses, but our standard is building a family, basically relying on one another, being accountable to one another.
Yes, sir.
And that's even in the coaching standpoint. When we build coaching staffs, we look for guys. We don't look for guys with great experience. We look for guys who have an understanding about development and that want to develop their own lifestyles while we develop the staff. So
Yes, sir. Great family, man. We got to build a family so that we can make everything happen correctly. What resources and support systems are in place to assist student athletes in their personal and professional development?
Well, one of the things that we have jumped on here recently is trying to partner with the alumni and partner with different groups that help with development. We as a staff, our goal is to develop. I want to say from inside out. Everybody attacks the sport first, but what we want to do is we want to try to develop character in people. And once these guys realize that they can trust us as building men and women, then they tend to trust our expertise in the sport. So what we try to do is we try to be so connected with their lives that they realize that I have somebody I can rely on. And we try to move that into different avenues such as development, pro development leagues and pro development coaches that we have rapport with to help them with their craft on the field, on the court, wherever it is.
Yes, sir. How do you ensure student athletes maintain a healthy balance between their academic, athletic, and personal lives?
Hey, that's hard, man. And that's difficult for us even as coaches. You know, it's hard to have a good work-life balance. One of the things we do with our strength and conditioning program, which is the foundation of every program, especially football, with our strength and conditioning program, we incorporate what we call a rest period in there, where they're responsible for getting a certain amount of rest. I'm talking about away from the telephone, away from the computer, meditation time where you can just let your body rest. On top of that, we want to try to promote a healthy lifestyle with a healthy diet. And because we don't have or at this moment possess a meal plan, what we try to do is offer them great guidance, I guess I would say, in eating healthy and trying to be healthy as they possibly can. That with the fact that we want them to constantly have a good community environment, a good community activity in their lives. So those things we think help to build.
I kind of wanted to add on to that, and like me being an athlete here at Atlantis, like this being my second year, I kind of just want to say like accountability is within yourself. Like, yeah, the coaches can point us in the right direction, and you know what I'm saying, they always gonna point us in the right direction. Yeah. Because they gave us the opportunity to get here. But, you know, sometimes you got to do it on your own. You got to do things outside of what the coaches are telling you and do it on your own because they're not there to hold your hand every step of the way. You have to make the opportunity the best of what it is, you know what I'm saying? And, you know what I'm saying? I understand the hard way, but sometimes, you know what I'm saying, you're going to get hit, but you got to know how to stand up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So the biggest thing is just learning that once you get to college, just know that there's a lot of things that you have to do by yourself. And if you don't do it by yourself, you're going to end up back home.
Well, I'm glad you said that because one of the things that we try to bridge is that gap between being the authority and the actual person that you're covering or being the authority over. A lot of times you tend to not have good communication because of that gap. And what we try to do is we try to bridge that gap by getting in there and letting guys know, hey, man, we went through the same things, letting them see us when we're going through certain challenges in our lives to let them know that, hey, it's all about overall development as a person, not just about me coaching you or you playing for me. It's about you developing as a person. And once they get the mindset that, hey, this guy is, you know, going through some of the same things that I'm going through, and he understands, that's the key component. They tend to gravitate towards you, and accountability isn't so hard because once you trust somebody, you don't mind sharing yourself with them. You know what I mean?
Of course. What role does the university play in providing opportunities for student athletes to engage with the local community?
Oh, man, Atlantis is all about community. Atlantis is, that's one of their core values, and we try to uphold that as much as possible. With student life, we have great student life coordinators with Miss Rosie. She pushes the student
She's
athletes.
great.
She's great, man. She pushes the student athletes to come out and get into the community. And believe it or not, that is our greatest recruitment tool is community. What you do in the community gives a lasting impression to those people around you, and they want to find out what it is that makes you want to come out and give back, and what it is that makes you want to come out and share with them. So Atlantis has always stood strong on the foundation of having some community presence. And we in the athletic department, especially football, we desire to do the same thing. So we try to push, I believe last year we helped out with the 4th of July in North Miami.
Yeah, we did the homeless event too.
The homeless events.
Yeah.
Those things they are key components in building family environments and family structures within a program, because you're doing that together. You got me.
I wanted to say another thing too, though. Don't feel ashamed of doing it when nobody looking either. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's always great to give back and, you know what I'm saying, do what others is not going to do.
Yeah,
that's correct. The biggest thing, you know what I'm saying? Because it's going to show eventually, like, whoever you are, like, when the light is dark, that's the same person that's going to show up when the light is on. You know what I'm saying? So,
and that's one of our core values in the athletic department, integrity. That integrity is when nobody's looking. What are you doing? Are you working hard? Are you being truthful? Are you doing what you're supposed to be doing when nobody's looking? So that's a great add-on.
How do you address the mental health and well-being of student athletes within our athletic department?
One of the tools that we have instituted is we have a mental health initiative. And our mental health initiative comes with us doing mental health workshops. We have a on-site contract therapist, Dr. Griff. He's there for those that need any type of therapy, any type of consultation or counseling. He's there. Those things, along with having an open door policy about our athletes dealing with us as coaches, that helps to foster that trust, so that when guys get homesick or even go through problems with romance and relationships, we want to offer that open door policy to where if you need to talk about it, hey, let's talk about it. One of the things that I noticed in the past years here at Atlantis is that our athletes need a little bit more development with conflict resolution, positive conflict resolution. I think with all the testosterone and all the competition, conflict resolution gets washed up. And I think positive conflict resolution is something that I'm really, really trying to push an initiative for.
Yeah, my goal too is also like if you guys, any of the athletes in any department, whether it's soccer, whatever it is, basketball, football, if you need somebody to talk to, I'm your guy to talk to. Yeah. I'm definitely trying to push something to just, like, because I understand I'm an inner city kid, so I understand, you know what I'm saying, we go through a lot. Especially if we away from home, you know what I'm saying, we trying to do something that we ain't never did before. Right. You know what I'm saying? So I feel a little bit different when we not in the environment that we used to, you know what I'm saying? So if you have those long nights where you just thinking and you need somebody to talk to, you could talk to me, call me, whatever you want to do, whenever, you know what I'm saying, whenever you meet me, you know what I'm saying, we'll chop it up some more. But
where you from, Kayson?
I'm from New York.
Okay.
But
I'm from Boston, so
whenever you guys need that help, I'm here to help. You know what I'm saying? You always want to surround yourself around people that's willing to help you. You know what I'm saying? That's connections is more than money.
Of course.
How do you foster a culture of inclusivity and diversity with our football program and athletics department as a whole?
Well, to be totally honest, Title IX gives us the outline and the structure that we need to be able to stay neutral and positive with what we do. As long as we adhere to that structure, that and the goal of, again, family, that gives us the opportunity to build that structure and that foundation to where guys will be able to feel like I belong, no matter what the situation is. To be honest with you, times have always changed, and they've always been changing. I think that our times have evolved into something else that we need to be aware of, and in order to be successful, it's going to take people. No matter what you do, athletics always deals with people. So you're going to have to learn how to deal with people. So what we try to do is we try to keep a positive ground for inclusion and all the things that come with it.
Yes, sir. What steps are taken to ensure that student athletes are prepared for life after graduation, both athletically and professionally?
We follow behind some of the same protocols that our university does. You know, the university is very key on not only job placement, but follow-up after you graduate. Our goal here is to be so connected with our athletes that we are able to push them to the next level. We have different leagues and different avenues that we have privy to and have exposure to. So after football here, our goal is to move you up to the next level, to where you can play at the next level and finish your career playing at a certain level, to be able to know that, hey, I went from point A to point B. So those are some of the things that we do. We connect with different NFL and European leagues that we try to develop those guys to move on to those next places.
Yes, sir. How do you balance the pursuit of athlete excellence and with the overall well-being of student athletes?
By not measuring our success in wins and losses. We measure our success in what we develop and put out in the world. I want people to be able to come back to me and not talk about, hey, coach, you won the most games at Atlantis, but I want people to be able to say, hey, I met a guy that played for you. I met some guys that played with you, and they have a certain approach and perspective to their craft. I think that's the biggest. I think that's the biggest thing you can do when you're talking about coaching football at this level.
I want to add on to that too. I feel like character is number one. Like,
number one, bro.
It's number one. You always want to, however anybody approach you, or however you get approached, or however you approach somebody is important. Because some people only go for first impression. So however their first impression is, that's how they gonna read you, and that's how they might tell the next person how you are.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you just want to make sure you talking to people how you want to be talked to also. You know what I'm saying? It's vice versa.
And I think that the vehicle of podcasts and the vehicle of social media content, I think these things have broken down some of the barriers that we've had in the past, so that people get an opportunity to see people intimately, and get to know that person from a different perspective than just what we've generally been told about XYZ, or what you think about XYZ.
Yeah, for sure. And another thing too, like, don't take social media to the head. Like, meet me in real life.
You're correct.
I'm real. Like, this is how I act in real life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But how do you engage alumni and other stakeholders in supporting the success of our student athletes and programs?
Believe it or not, in this being my second year as an AD, that is my biggest obstacle. My goal for our athletic department and the university is to connect our alumni with our athletic department. Atlantis has a great history of alumnus out there, and they were not privy to having athletics when they were here. My goal and my hopes are to give exposure to the alumni about what we're doing in athletics, about who we are, about the standard that we've created, about the buzz that we have in our USCAA, about what we're doing here, what we're building. And I want them to be a part of it, because they hold a key role in our success, to be honest.
Yeah, they started it.
They started it.
Yeah. What advice do you have for the prospective student athletes who are considering our university?
Come and see what we have to offer. I don't even think that our website really tells you what we have to offer. We're the Atlantis University is the home of the nonconformists, but I really believe that a lot of our allure is when you come in the building. I mean, when you first walk outside, it seems to be something small. But once you get inside and you get a chance to meet the people on a daily basis, when we recruit and we do our group recruiting visits, I tell them all the time, you're here on a Friday, but if you come back on Monday, you're going to have the same atmosphere because it's woven into our very fiber about who we are. And I think that's the thing that wins a lot of people over when they come into Atlanta. So I would tell our prospective athletes, hey, come and check us out. Come and see what we're about. Here recently, we just had a guy come down from California, him, his father, and his sister. And when I tell you they fell in love, they started looking for apartments and everything right after they left here. So it works. Our product works. It's just a matter that people have to come in and get an opportunity to see us. And I'm hoping that our podcast and our different channels and our athletes themselves go out and market us as well.
Well, yeah, we're going to definitely get it. We're going to get it by any means. What nobody's saying, we're going to be number one. Everybody going to know who Atlantis University is. We're going to get there. Don't worry about it.
Shout out to our baseball team. They ranked up their 5th seed this year in the World Series.
Oh, yeah.
And we go up to play Saturday.
Oh, yeah. Shout out to them boys, too, man.
Yeah.
How does our athletic department promote a culture of accountability and integrity among student athletes?
Just I think that you lead by example. I think that having a coaching staff and an athletic department that does not we don't aspire to be mediocre. You know what I mean? I think that is our, culture is what you do. From day one, culture is what you do. You set the tone for your culture by the very first thing you do. And I think by us holding fast to that standard and just like having a blue-collar mentality, I think that helps us to set the tone for accountability and integrity with those guys that are coming in.
What role do technology and data analytics play in the athlete's development and performance evaluation?
That has been a big that has been a fear factor for old coaches like myself. The younger coaches that come up now, they're more into the analytics. They're more into the technology. But for old goats like myself, who just remember when we used to have to send out VHSs to colleges just
OG.
to get them, OG. But to be totally honest with you, we have grasped it sometimes with fear, but it has been a great enlightenment to us. Here recently, just yesterday, I spoke with Professor DeLeon concerning about virtual reality and how we can utilize it in the training of our quarterbacks and our baseball players. And everything is hand-eye coordination in these sports. And when you start dealing with virtual reality, it becomes an opportunity for you to get a player one-on-one and see what he sees, and that's the biggest thing. So we're trying to make it. Hey, we're trying to make it happen.
That's fire. Yeah, hand-eye coordination is a must. Man, some of y'all got no hands. Can you share any goals or aspirations that you have for our football program in the upcoming season?
Yeah, the main thing is I would like for us to be to have the very first winning season here at Atlantis. I believe that what we're bringing in a good quality of athletes, recruits that are coming in for 2024, a big recruiting class. We have a lot of good guys coming in from good programs, quality programs, programs like Booker T. Washington, programs like Northeast High School in St. Pete. As a matter of fact, we have a linebacker coming in from Booker T. named Tristan Ramsey, Guy has a 3.5, 3.7 GPA. We have another guy by the name of Tucker Manarino from Northeast High School in St. Pete. These guys hold great core values. They have good character, and they seem to be very good in the classroom as well as their film. So I think that will help us into establishing a foundation for us to be winners this year, just basically off of our record, our win-loss record.
And just to add on to that, man, do y'all work. Go to class.
Please.
It's as simple as that.
Please, man.
Stop making it harder than what it got to be.
Please.
And stop doing the assignment at 11:59 when it's due.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
How can fans and supporters contribute to the success and growth of our athletes department, our athletic department and football program?
One, by supporting our podcast, subscribing to our channels, supporting us with what we do. When you see us in the community, finding out where we are and what we're doing and coming out and supporting us. On top of that, I believe that supporting our events, when we have events, come to our events, as well as supporting our spirit store. And in the future, my goal is to get our apparel into certain stores so that you'll be able to go out and buy Atlantis apparel. Those are the things that we want to try to make such a buzz about, that people will be able to say, I want to be a part of that. That support is the main thing. And most importantly, we want you guys to come out and support us in our academics. We want you to join Atlantis University. If you're looking for a small school that's going to help you transition into university life and college mentality, I think Atlantis University is the greatest place on earth.
That's the place to go, the place to
be, man.
So we got some spotlight athletes, and we have two guys. We have Tristan Ramsey, and we have Tucker Manarino.
Yeah.
First one, we wanted to do Tristan first.
Tristan, yeah, let's
do Tristan. Tristan from Miami, BTW, Florida, linebacker, 3.3 GPA. 3.3,
okay. So Tristan is an outside linebacker / defensive end from a nationally acclaimed program. Booker T, Washington, about 2 or 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago, they were the national champs in high school football. He came from a quality coach, Coach Tim Harris. He came up through some good coaching ranks, and he's a great athlete as well as a great person, man. This guy here, he has a great intuition as far as a linebacker. He's faster than he normally looks, but he's also strong. Right now he's in the regionals over at Calvary Christian, competing for an opportunity to go to state in the discus and the shot put. So he's strong, great core, great vision, great tackler, good at the attack point. So yeah, great kid. Funny thing is, I coached him as a freshman at Northwest Christian and also as a sophomore over at Champagnat.
Oh, really? That's what's up.
Yeah. We actually lost together in the state championship at Champagnat Catholic. Great kid, great guy, man. Has a nose for the football. But once you meet him, he has such a personality that you'll always expect to talk to him when you see him.
I gotta make sure I get his clothes size so I can put him in my brand.
Yeah. He's a great guy. He'll be a great guy. Has a nose for the football, man. So he's one of the type of guys that we look forward to bringing in to be able to help shore up our defense, because defense is the key to not only winning championships but just in winning games. He's one of the type of guys that is he's an animal in the weight room, he's an animal in the classroom, and his whole goal is to try to get better in order to fulfill his lifelong dream at playing at the next level. And it's these types of guys that we want to bring in to raise the standard of what we're trying to do.
Of course.
This year, we open up against Weber University. Our first 3 games are contenders. We open up against Weber University, then Warner University, and then St. Thomas.
We got the dates for those or no?
We have the date. I said we'll put out the schedule here in the next couple of weeks once we have all the other games finalized. But it's those types of games that are going to give us the type of exposure to be able to say, hey, man, we're competing for something. We're just like you guys, you know?
Yeah, make sure y'all pull up. When the dates and everything is out, we're going to make sure we pull up. This is
Tucker
Manarino.
Yeah, Tucker was a great find for us. Tucker is a middle linebacker. He plays. He has a nose for the ball. He's great on the rush. You see him there making that tackle. And Tucker is from St. Pete. I want to say he led his team in tackle. I remember the GPA is like what 3.7 GPA. He aspires to be a business owner. He said one day. I think he told me he wanted to own his own business as well. But Tucker's a great guy on that football field, man. As you talk to him, you get a feel for him and a feel for his leadership capability. Actually, we just had our first new recruit Zoom meeting a couple of days ago, and he was one of the leaders in the whole meeting, man. I mean, he's just that type of attitude. So we want to have those guys that walk around and possess that confidence with not arrogance.
Of course, and don't mistake the two.
Yeah. Don't mistake the two.
Mm-mm. Great
instinctive, great
guys.
instinction for the ball, man. When I saw him, he's a lot bigger than he actually looks on film, man. I mean, he's still in the workroom. You know, part of what we do, Kayson, is we require our guys to come into camp ready.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not a place where you come in. It's not little league football.
Yeah,
you got to come in ready. That helps with what we're trying to do on the depth chart. And he's one of the guys that he's really adamant and religious about his working out.
That's great. You always want somebody that's disciplined.
Yeah, man, discipline.
And I feel like a lot of people like think discipline, like they take that word lightly. Like it's real. It's not hard to. I mean, it's not easy to be disciplined.
Of course. No, it's not easy at all. One of the quotes that I use is that the desire to be great must supersede the desire to be comfortable. If it doesn't, then mediocrity becomes the standard.
And we don't want to be mediocre.
You do not want to be mediocre, man. In the classroom, in life, in business, you do not want to be mediocre.
Great guys, man. Great guys, man.
So those are the types of guys that we're trying to bring in and, seal up what we're trying to do as a program.
Can't wait to meet the guys, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to meet you guys eventually.
I can't wait till they all get here, man. But those are a couple that I believe we can trust. You know, that's a major thing, too, in athletics, even in the pro level. When franchises begin to do drafts, one of the biggest question marks is, can I pay this guy millions and can I trust him after I pay him? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So that's big in athletics. We want to try to get guys that we can trust. I have a little thing where we call OGKs, OKG, our kind of guys, in quotation marks. And that's one of the things that I try to get the coaches to follow after. And my coaching staff, hats off to my coaching staff, Kayson. My coaching staff is a group of regular guys who are experiencing what they're doing, but they seem to have a nose for the same type of guys that fit what we're trying to do. You know, I tell guys all the time, we're not looking for D1 talent. I'm looking for guys with character, man. Guys who are going to go to class 2 days a week. You got me? So that's the main thing. That's the main thing. 2 days a week.
For sure, man. I enjoy having my guy. I appreciate you guys letting me be the host of the podcast today. It was great talking to my guy Joel, and guys, we are out of here.
Amen. Forks up.